the defense.
What up, and welcome back to Split the Defense, Leafs post-game presented by Laforest Electrical Contractors, serving Kingston and the surrounding area since 2004. I'm Webby with CP and producer Ted in the booth. Thumbs up this episode, subscribe to our YouTube, leave us a comment, and catch us in podcast form anywhere you listen to podcasts. The Leafs just lost to the Detroit Red Wings 4-2, and where did it all go wrong? CP, what happened tonight?
They kind of only played one good period, to be honest. I don't know. That's where, like, I think the kind of got away with a couple wins the last, four, and this one kind of caught up to them a bit. Only one line was really going, and one good second period, but kind of a sloppy first, sloppy third, and yeah, kind of tough. Should get a win against Detroit. They kind of suck.
This was kind of a game that they typically lose. They came back and Matthew and I tipped it and tied the game up, and I thought, hey, maybe there's a chance. But then 45 seconds-ish later, the game became 3-2 for the Red Wings, and that was basically how it ended, minus a empty net goal that really doesn't even count in my head. But that, I think, was the moment right there. Was the end of the first, or was the end of the second? It was the end of the first, and they got scored on. Joseph Woll, it was the second goal. Joseph Woll was swimming around his net. I didn't love that. I saw him coming, I saw that coming as soon as he made his first big stride out of the net. I went, oh no, that looks like Ilya Samsonov.
He's like 2 meters out of the net.
Yeah, I mean, Matthews can't collect the pass from Tanev. It bounces off the wall up to, I don't know, whatever Red Wings player. They go the other way to score, and it's just absolutely brutal goaltending from Joseph Woll there. That's not typical of him.
No, not really. I mean, it's a bit of like a pass it around play where the whole team doesn't really look great on that one. But yeah, you don't want to see your goalie ever that far out of the net. It doesn't really matter what's going on, even on the biggest of saves. So not a great look, and from a guy that's typically pretty calm in the net. So not amazing, but I also felt like on the third goal, which felt like more of a dagger to me, like it was all on the team and a lot of on JT. Like everyone does the flyby, and everyone in Detroit just goes right to the front of the net. No one there to protect it, and like that's just those are the things where someone like Tavares, like that's a play where it doesn't look like a one of the best defensive players in the league. It looks like a guy like that's something Max Domi would do. So don't like to see that. But
and that was Jeff Petrie. Jeff Petrie looking like Cale Makar out there, scoring 2 goals tonight on the Toronto Maple Leafs. And you just got to wonder, how do you let Jeff Petrie become that off? Is it because he's Jeff Petrie and you don't expect goals from him? I mean, he played it well and good for him, but why wasn't there somebody defending the front of the net? It's just really poor defense, really, really not sound. Berube can't be happy with this effort tonight.
No, I don't really care who it is. I mean, when someone's in the mid slot with a wide open chance, I mean, I don't care who you are. You can put one in. Anyone in the NHL.
Well, they clearly didn't.
Yeah. So, well, yeah.
That's the whole point, right? So Matthews wired one home on the new look power play. You have any thoughts on bringing Riley back into power play 1?
I don't know if it has anything to do with that other than them not giving up any breakaways. I think mostly I think it has to do with Marner was a big part of that one-timer, obviously. They showed it in the intermission, how far he tracked before that play happened, and that's what you need to see from a really good power play. You don't just stand in one position. I feel like I just say this every time the power play is not working. It's they're just always just standing around, and you really need to see Marner do a loop, and he's basically gets into every position before he makes that pass, and yeah, get lost a little bit, and it makes Matthews, wide open. It's a really nice pass through traffic, but yeah, when Marner takes so much attention like that, that's when like Matthews can just like he just stood there the whole time, but yeah, you kind of have to draw the attention away.
Did you feel with Riley back tonight? Now I know it hasn't been clicking. The power play hasn't been clicking for a week or two, but did you feel tonight watching Riley back on the power play that they were overpassing again a little bit and just a little bit complacent?
Like the Leafs on the power play?
Yeah.
No, like I felt like I don't know. The power play to me is just hasn't ever really clicked great yet. So I like it's not something where like this is what they do when it's successful, So I just think that like they're still trying to find it. Like like we're a quarter of the way through the season, and still trying to figure out the power play is not amazing, but I guess like but once you do and. Like it is, we said this I'm kind of repeating what I said last game or last episode, but like when you have a team that's playing a different like, structure with way better goaltending, you can kind of take longer to figure it out, but you really want you need to go in the playoffs with a good power play. So, but yeah, I just think that like part of the thing that I see more often to make it successful is Marner taking control and moving around and everyone moving around, even Willie. Like, yeah, I just hate a really stagnant power play. And I'm not sure that like Riley being on it really matters other than I guess it does give Marner more freedom because he doesn't have to play that defensive position. So yeah, maybe that is kind of the solution to free up Marner. But yeah, I think more of the solution is Marner to be moving around.
Yeah, that makes sense. Marner scored a beautiful goal tonight, but it did challenge for offside. And
yeah, tough one.
It was so close. What a stupid rule offside is. I get like the premise behind the rule, but like that right there, that was so stupid. That had like zero effect on the play. If he was like 2 inches behind, still would have happened. Everything pretty much would have happened the exact same, but he wasn't. So the goal doesn't count. Hate that part of the game.
What's stupid too is the reason it got called back, I think mostly is because they're so close together. Like if one of them's on one side of the boards and the other one's on the other side of the boards, you could never figure out if that's actually offside but it's so easy because it's in the same frame. You see both so perfectly. Yeah, that's tough. Like especially it's like by a centimeter, but you can't refute it. Like as soon as I only had to see it once and knew right away it was coming back. Too. So yeah.
Oh, it's just unfortunate because it wasn't even directly after that. It was like 20 seconds after that or something, wasn't it? Like,
do you think if there was no offside, like you would just have someone sitting in the other end?
Who cares? You know how much fun basketball is?
Yeah, I was gonna say, but do you think that's what the gameplay would be? I'm not saying if
what Willie would do. That's all Willie would do.
Would Willie like just
his bread and butter? Yeah.
I don't know.
Just feed him pucks.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if they did it. You would see so many different like. You'd see a lot of people try that, but I don't know if it would really work out because like you're basically then on the PK in the defensive zone, so like that's not great. Or do you just have a defenseman down there too babysitting you?
No, you just got guys breaking early all the time, not just standing down there, but lots of breaking early.
Yeah,
lots
really,
more.
Yeah. So. That would be interesting. I would definitely don't want that to be a change, but it would be interesting to see.
You'd see probably a lot less icing too, because they'd actually be trying to float something onto a guy's stick up there, rather than just dump it in and expect him to go get it.
Yeah, especially if wingers are breaking early, they'll be behind the defense way more often. Yeah,
so that's probably what would happen.
Yeah.
Matthews loses a skate blade tonight.
Oh,
is it just me, or is this happening way too much in today's NHL? And there's got to be a solution to these skate blades coming off. Like, it feels like in the year of 2024, we should have the technology to keep the damn things inside the skates.
I know. It's so funny, too, because, like, doesn't matter how skilled you are at skating, like, no one can pull off the one blade skating. It's just
no.
It's hilarious. So I don't know. I think I was arguing for goalies to have fixed blades because like it's so important, and and they're not going to blow it down now for the goalie, or like when they used to. I mean, they're not going to blow it down for anyone, but it's less impactful for a player. So I guess like you'll just see more often the who was it? Was it Tanev that gave him the old shuttle to the
Yeah, I
bench?
think so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Picked him up basically and took him over.
yeah.
Yeah, but
So
he's like useless at that point. I mean, that's
I
just
know. It is crazy
it's
though
kind of
that they just
silly.
won't stay in. Like I know that they just like click in and out. Like can we not get like a little Allen key fucking,
Set
tighten down?
screws.
Yeah, just a little set screw on two sides there and then there's the solution. Even just like a through screw.
No,
Even
I
if it
think
That's
at
what I
comes
was
that
thinking,
point
loose.
yeah.
the plastic would break, and then you'd be even more fucked, and you couldn't just
Oh,
snap
yeah,
a quick
true.
one in quickly.
Oh man,
True.
yeah. I mean, make that one little piece of the holder to be metal, Just have
It
like
just happens so often. Like there's got to be a solution at this point. It's not like, oh, it happens once every blue moon, so don't worry about it. Like you see it a lot. Every game pretty much. You see somebody losing a skate blade now.
no, it's not every game, is it? Like
Pretty damn close.
I was gonna say like maybe once a night throughout the league, but I don't know. Maybe it is happening more than I think it is. But,
At minimum once a night per through the league. Yeah, that's
oh, for
that's
sure.
probably
Yeah.
more accurate.
Okay.
But yeah, it's happening so often. Like you think they
Yeah.
do something about it by now. And watching the captain be basically rendered useless for his shift there and be just taken off by our best defenseman. So that's great. Now we got two guys shuttling one guy off the ice. It's like that. Great
Yeah.
situation to put yourselves in. The play doesn't get blown dead. There's just got to be a way around that. There's got to be a way to fix that.
I mean, we also get like really lucky on what type of play it is. Like he loses his as they're like back checking, but then the play immediately goes to the other end. So like if you're like hemmed in your own zone and it happens, like you can't have a defenseman shuttling you to the bench. So yeah, it would be it depends on the situation.
So Bobby McMahon returns to the lineup tonight. He was
yes.
pretty noticeable. Had quite
At
a
the
few
beginning.
shots on goal and skated
start, yeah.
around.
Yeah.
And what was your impression of him?
he
Tell me how you really feel.
Yeah, yeah. He came out really hot, and I think he faded really poorly. So I like he wasn't bad at all in the end. Just like I really noticed him in the beginning, and I was like, oh yeah, Bobby. Like maybe he can be the solution to this third line, and no, like the third line kind of sucked all night. So like I don't know. I do think like it's probably a little bit of getting your legs back. So I mean, it took Patches. He took one night off, and then the next night he came and put 3 points on the board. So, let's let him get his legs a little bit. I like the third line. I think though is just like even if Bobby is playing really well, I still don't love it. I actually think that Matthew Nyes might look better on the third line, and like he's someone that I think could develop like. Him on his own, I think, can drive play better than Bobby. Bobby is really fast and he can like fly up an end, but Nyes has the skill, I think, to make more plays than that. But I think like you don't necessarily need that on the first line. Like Matthews and Marner just need someone who's fast and who can get in on pucks and make something happen and be a secondary scoring option to Matthews, and that's all the things Bobby McMahon can do. So
They even had Holmberg doing that job.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't want that to happen again, but I think there's other guys other than Nyes that can do it, and yeah, it's just like the third line, just like every single night. Even though I'm liking some things I see from like Minton, I still think he's not the problem, but I do think that he's not fitting in on a line. So like I'm not sure if it's. But Domi tonight, I also didn't think was very good and had a lot of poor plays. Even though he did make a couple nice plays when it comes down to it at the end, but he's playing with better players. So I don't know. It's one of those things where it's just someone needs someone better to play with. I'm just not sure who it is that can't play on that line.
Yeah. Well, McMahon, Minton, Domi. So if you're looking, McMahon doesn't really fit, you say, so you put Nyes. So it's Nyes, Minton, Domi, and then you say Domi, not really. So now you're looking at Nyes, Minton, and is Minton the guy either? Is Minton our third line center going into the playoffs? Like, I don't know. Is he? I don't think he's the guy either. So it's like I don't think any one of those guys are in the right spot or with the right person right now, and that is still a to be decided line. They're trying to figure it out, and it's constantly changing.
Okay, but what if you did Bobby, Nyes, and Minton? You know, and it's not like a scoring line, but it's like an energy line, and it's get the puck down there and let's get stuff going. And you put Domi up and higher in the lineup.
The problem is secondary scoring right now, though. That's a big thing. Like nobody from the secondary scoring is lighting it up. If we could have got some secondary scoring goals tonight, we would have won 4-3, and that would have been the end of the game. But you know that's not what we need from our third line. We have a fourth energy line. Right? That's great.
Yeah.
We're good with one energy line. We don't need two energy lines. We need a secondary scoring line. And you have to find which players are going to fit in that mix, because every one of those names we just listed could be on that line in some shape or form in my mind. I just don't know what the correct formula is. And so far, nothing has proven to work, or people haven't stayed healthy long enough to actually get good looks at this stuff.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, no one below the first line looked good to me tonight. So, I mean, the fourth line, like you said, like they created some energy, and I liked what Dewar was doing tonight. He was really getting in there, but like, yeah, even the second line, like I think we saw last game, it was really good, but tonight it didn't give me anything at all. I didn't think. So yeah, you're right. I have no real negative thing to say about like any of those players. It's just like you said, it's just what the formula is. I don't know. And I think like I'm not screaming for a trade immediately like a lot of fans are. But I do think that like it's oh man, I can't say this word. Inevitable. Is that get it? Inevitable? Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's an inevitability.
Yes. That like that's what the team needs. Like, I just think that the trade is going to come for that position, and you know, whether it's something flashy, I'm not sure, but I think they will bring something else in other than Minton, where he can play the last, you know, third of the season or more down in the AHL. Even though I've really liked what I've seen from him.
And that's it. I think Mintz is good, and I think defensively he fits, and he's not a liability at all, but I just don't think he provides the punch needed right now. He might in the future, and he might not also. He might just be a really defensively sound player, and that would be good too. But he doesn't have that scoring punch, that offensive touch to, you know, create plays. He's great on the forecheck. He's on the right side of the puck a lot of the times, and he's great at winning the puck back off guys' sticks, but I just don't think he's got that game-breaking goal-scoring ability that you need on the third line to make a Domi better. Like you need somebody who's going to click with a Domi. You need somebody who's going to click with a McMahon, right? I think you need a pure goal-scoring type guy in that center position, it seems, and that's kind of hard because a lot of centers are playmakers, right? So like if those are going to be the guys you choose, otherwise maybe you put Domi in the center and you get a really good winger. Either way, you need something on that third line. You just something in the bottom six that's going to be able to be an offensive threat and not just two energy lines. Otherwise, you're going to lose a lot of these games 4-2. Yep,
I agree. Yeah.
So you got anything else on the docket for this game here tonight?
I don't know. Like, the only thing that's coming to mind really is like we've kind of given the top four of the defense kind of a free ride a little bit the last while. I mean, I think they are much better than they were last year, but
McCabe was gone for a bit.
Yeah. I'm getting less and less confident though that like OEL and Riley are the pair for the future, and like for, you know, the entire season. So we switched it up once. I wouldn't mind switching it up again. Like even like tonight, McCabe and Tanev, they let 2 in, I think. At least I think. So like that's not like a total shutdown where you're not getting anything in the net when they're out there. So I don't know. I would maybe want to see some sort of a shakeup. Like we started with Tanev Riley, and I know like Riley was a bit of a liability. Like it felt like you weren't getting the most out of Tanev. But I do think that, you know, maybe it's what's the opposite? So then, well, I guess that doesn't work yet. OEL and Tanev, maybe.
Yeah.
And then McCabe's going to be on the right. we've seen McCabe and Riley not work in the past, but we've also, maybe we can give it a shot and make it work. I don't know, but some sort of a switch I would like to see, I think.
Yeah. Old matchstick knees. Maybe he'll come back and play a game.
Man, yeah, what happened to that guy? He played 2, and then he just disappeared, and you don't hear of anything about him.
$1.5 million.
Yeah, yeah.
He
Is
must
he
be
one
really
of the
good.
names practicing? I didn't even take notice of that when I saw a lineup tonight, but yeah, I don't hear anything about him though, so it's kind of odd. But he's on the Four Nations squad.
Apparently, yeah. I think that's more of a if you can go, we'd love to have you because we're
Same as a
short on
Leaf, yeah.
guys who do what you do. But
Yeah.
if you're not good to go, then we can replace you. But I think some of the names were like Henry Yokiharu,
Essa Lindell, I
etc.
Yeah.
That were out on there looking in, right? Like he's
Oh,
on
I
the
see.
team already.
I
So
gotcha.
it's like
Yeah.
like who's he going to be replaced by? It's like not major names, but
Yeah.
they're serviceable. There could be another guy. It's not really. It's just that if you get a healthy Yanni Hakanpää, then you certainly rather have him on Team Finland than one of these other less
And Team Maple
performing
Leafs.
in their past. Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to have him on the Maple Leafs, but yeah, the Riley thing, not having a partner, that's continued to be an issue. I thought Riley and Tanev should have been a thing, but it really wasn't working at times as well. And he had we're gonna switch it to puck moving and shut down, and now that it's nothing's really been horrible. It's
No.
just not really been outshining. And I wonder if, maybe there's still a missing piece on the back end as well.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is like, I think, like, I guess if you're going to get something flashy, but, like
remember when the Avs added Josh Manson when they already had a stacked ass decor? And we're like,
Yeah.
what? And
That's
you're
fair.
like, oh, okay. Like, all right, I think that's what they need.
I guess, like, I don't know how much of an all-in guy Brad Treliving is. He doesn't seem to me like a guy that goes out at the deadline and like does a bunch of stuff. Like I think he's a guy that goes and adds like one good piece. So like if he goes out, and I think it's just I would rather fill this third line center than get another defenseman. I think. But again,
Do
like.
both.
Yeah, if you go and do both, like I'm not going to be upset. That's for sure. Like, who cares about prospects? Screw them. But yeah, it's just I don't know. It would look really nice if you got to put OEL on the third pair. That would be amazing.
Yeah, that would certainly change things, right?
Yeah,
Once you get a guy, in a couple of these positions, you slot everybody back down into their proper position and everything starts to look a little more comfortable.
yeah.
You have to wonder, David Camp is coming back. He's officially activated off LTIR today,
Yeah.
I believe, or eligible to be activated. I'm not sure if they have activated him back yet.
He was practicing though.
But he was practicing, so he'll be back. So that will change things. That will change the PK. That will change people's ice time. And I just hope it's not just as simple as, okay, well, Connor Dewar sits now. Because I think that guy's played well enough that he should still get to play some games here.
Yeah, I think I would rather him go to the wing and Holmberg sit. Like Holmberg to me he does like a lot of nothing, and it's kind of the guy that's fine to be out there. Like when he goes over the boards, like the chances are he's not going to make a really big mistake, but he's not going to do anything special. Dewar, I think he mixes it up a little bit more. Like there's a lot more to him. And I think especially I think with the coach that we have, he's been noticing that too, probably. So, yeah.
You can't not see Connor Dewar pushing a guy every time he hits him either. It's just like, it's his trademark now. He throws a body check and then gives him an extra shove every time. And I love that heart and soul out of that guy.
Gotta love a guy that plays bigger than he is too. Like I think Connor Dewar's what, like 5'10", like maybe 5'9".
Yeah.
Like the guy's not very big, but he plays way bigger than that and never lets anyone take advantage of him. So yeah, I just like that guy's got guts. So yeah, what's the slogan on the wall? It's something about grit, gutness, or I don't know. They've got some funny
Skill,
slogan.
determination or something like that.
No, it's something about grit, and I don't know. It's something corny that they have written all over their gym walls. I see it in the blueprint video.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, they
I
have
think it
some.
says live, laugh, leaf.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. No, it says like how frig. I don't know. I see it so often, and I forget what it says now. It says something about grit though. So yeah, that's what the management and coaching's trying to bring to the team.
Grief.
Yeah, Greek.
Grit. Grief. Yeah.
Yes.
Good grief.
Yeah, something about that. But anyway,
Anyways,
greatness takes grit. Maybe that might be it.
Maybe.
I don't know. That's my last guess though.
Grit breeds greatness.
Something like that. Yeah.
So Sabres tomorrow, 5 p.m. start. That's interesting.
5 p.m.
p.m.
eh?
start.
Jeez.
So we'll be here nice and early.
Yeah.
What do you expect tomorrow from the Leafs? Do you think they're going to be a bounce back game, or are you worried at all about the back to back and probably Dennis Hildeby in net? And
Yeah, I'm excited for
the
that.
Buffalo
actually.
Sabres, who always play the Leafs real tough.
Yeah, do they still though? Like I'm trying to think. Like I feel like the rivalry is slightly dwindling with them, but maybe it'll get ramped back up again.
I'm sure Rasmus Dahlin hasn't forgotten the cross check to the face.
Yeah, Matthews too. Like I mean, he probably still feels a little bit of something there too. But yeah, I always kind of like the Sabres. It's to me, it's one of the top rivalries. And I love that there's just going to be. Wait, where is it? Sorry, is it going to be in Buffalo? It must be in Buffalo, right? They're just Detroit.
Yeah, it's in Buffalo.
Yeah, so this is my favorite Buffalo game of the year because you get to see how many blue sweaters are going to be in the crowd. So
Yes, there always is a ton of blue sweaters in Buffalo. Not too far from Toronto.
This is like the Blue Jays playing in Seattle. You know, it's like you just take over the stadium, and the team I think plays a little bit tougher, a little bit better when you see more of your fans in a visiting town. So
Yeah, it's actually disgusting the way the Blue Jays do it. Blue Jays fans take over the Seattle Mariners stadium. It's
amazing.
It's our stadium now.
Yeah, I love it.
I love that. Yeah.
They sell the Blue Jays merch in the stadium on that game. Like that's how embarrassing it is. Their store they changed to be like a lot of Blue Jays. It's so embarrassing.
That's totally embarrassing. That's awesome for the Jays, but an embarrassment for the franchise. But whatever to make bucks, right?
Yeah,
whatever to make bucks.
Yeah.
So
You're welcome.
All right. Well, let's wrap this puppy up for now.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us for Split the Defense Leafs post game presented by Laforest Electrical Contractors, serving Kingston and the surrounding area since 2004. Leave us a comment if you haven't already. Hit that like button on your way out the door. Subscribe on YouTube and listen to us in podcast form anywhere you listen to podcasts. Until next time, peace.
Peace.
Follow the boys on Twitter at STDPWebby, at Craig D. Pearce, and at Ted_is_shook.